Video 4, we made it, you guys. So for the past couple of weeks, I have come on here and brought you tough real life situations that we as stylists face. And I've asked you, what would you do? Well, today I wanted to pivot just a little bit and finally introduce myself. Hi, my name's Mary Wozniak, and besides being the Stylist Consultant, I'm a wife and a mom to 2 amazing kids. I have an old Boston Terrier, and I love music, cooking, and all things outdoors. I'm also a former independent stylist and business owner with over 10 years experience behind the chair. I specialized in naturally curly hair, and in 2019, I actually opened up my very own studio called Curl Envy Northwest, where I worked until the time of my retirement in 2021 due to a career-ending spinal injury. At the time of my retirement, I was a 6-figure stylist. I was working 25 to 30-hour work weeks. I cut out all color services. I only did cuts and educational appointments. I had 30 to 50 new client requests per month with a wait list over 200 names long. I had people driving hours to come in for a haircut, some of them even flying in. I even had one client fly in from France. And because of this, I was able to be selective about the clients that I had in my chair, and I was able to build a full book of dream clients who were actually excited to be in my chair. Let me tell you how awesome it feels to have every single client come in and tell you how excited they are just to sit in your chair so that you can work on their hair. It was my dream as a hairstylist, as I'm sure it's the dream of many behind the chair. Now, while I had to close that chapter in my book much sooner than expected due to long-term back issues, I did learn how to build a bulletproof business that could weather any storm, whether it be a pandemic in my case or the upcoming recession. Now, a lot of the growth that I experienced came from streamlining and automating my business wherever possible, which I'll be teaching in my self-paced course, Stylist Supernova. But the fact of the matter is that even with the best technical skills in an automated business, there are 2 factors that set 3- and 4-star businesses apart from 5-star businesses. And this is true outside of the hair industry too. This is true worldwide in all industries. And those 2 factors are good critical thinking skills and good communication skills. Now, in my retirement, I kept my finger on the pulse of the beauty industry, and I stayed tuned in with all of the publications, and I also stayed in all of the Facebook forums. What I love about those forums is that stylists come together to help each other out, anything from formulations to giving tool recommendations. But the thing that stood out to me the most was that a lot of stylists were coming there asking for help with tough situations with either clients or coworkers. And a lot of these situations were ones that could be remedied with good critical thinking and good communication skills. And it got me to thinking. I saw that there are educators everywhere for the technical side of things. So there are balayage educators, there are extensions educators, there are business educators everywhere. But as an industry, I saw that we were lacking communication coaching. And so I decided to make this channel to help stylists up their communication game and use critical thinking to come up with strategies that drastically limit these occurrences from happening and that deal with them in the most efficient way possible so that we can maximize the outcome satisfaction and minimize frustrations. In the What Would You Do videos, I'm going to be sharing all of these strategies with you. But first, I want to ask you a question. When it comes to good critical thinking and communication skills, why do you think that those are so pivotal in building 5-star salons? The salons that people will drive hours to go to, the salons that people are lining up to go to, the salons that see the most success and that have the most clients. Let's take a look at critical thinking first. We all know that when we're behind the chair, we use our critical thinking skills all the time because no 2 heads of hair are the same. We have to think on our toes at all times. And especially if something goes wrong, we have to be able to react accordingly and quickly. But did you know that using your critical thinking skills can also help you grow your business? A stylist who excels at critical thinking can analyze their business finances and see where they can maximize profit or cut back costs. You can evaluate who you want to have in your chair and build a mindful brand and fantastic marketing to draw those clients in so that you can be selective about who you want to work with. And it can also help you identify the root cause of a problem and come up with strategies to minimize those occurrences from happening again. And communication, especially interpersonal communication, meaning from person to person, is really important because our job is literally working with people. Fact, most client complaints are usually the result of poor communication, which can lead to an unhappy client, which can lead to a bad review via online or through word of mouth. And in an industry where reviews and client trust matter so much, we have to be ready to handle any situation. So while being up to date on the latest styles and trends is awesome, constantly improving your communication skills is going to prove to be just as valuable in today's salon. In my years behind the chair as both a business owner and a renter, I did notice that those with poor communication skills were generally the first ones to make the switch into other careers. So really, there's no way around it. In order to be successful in this industry, being a good communicator is a must. And it's going to be extremely beneficial to you if you can cultivate that skill. Why? Well, because communication is really important for building relationships. If you are able to effectively communicate with your clients, you are going to build trust and connection so that they just keep coming back and coming back. Plus, they will tell everyone how amazing you are. So, as you can see, being both a good critical thinker and a good communicator are great skills to have, but together they are a powerhouse. And together they set the foundation for a bulletproof business. Now, if you're already a good communicator, that is awesome. If not, the good news is that by practicing and by knowing the strategies that I'm going to give you, you will up your communication game, which in turn will level up your business. And realistically, we can all use the communication practice. Now, before I leave here today, I do want to leave you with 4 steps that you can implement today to up your communication game. And those are going to be an active listener, to show empathy, to use simple language and body language. The first step is simple, and that's be an active listener. So if you haven't heard that before, what that means is that when you are having a conversation with someone, you're going to give them your full attention. You're going to face them and give them eye contact. If they say something that you are not sure of, ask them. Ask clarifying questions like, can you explain this again? Or can you show me a picture? And then once they say something, you're going to repeat it back to them. And what that does is it clarifies to them that you understand what they are saying and that you both are on the same page. Being an active listener will help you gain a better understanding to your client's perspective and help you tailor a solution that is unique to them and their needs. All right, so the second step is to show empathy or be empathetic. Now, I want to give you a quick little story. Back in 2020, I had to go to the dentist, and it had been a long time. I'm talking a couple years since I had been in for a cleaning, and I was stressed and embarrassed. Now, putting yourself in my shoes, had you been that client having to go to the dentist after years, if you were met with a hygienist who was judgy and unkind and scolding you, how do you think you would feel? You'd probably feel ashamed and you likely wouldn't go back. Now, on the flip side, being met with a hygienist who was kind and caring and reassuring, saying, life happens, I get it, just come back and take better care. I don't know about you, but that was how I was met. I had a wonderful experience. The hygienist was non-judgy. She didn't shame me at all. And guess what? That encouraged me to have better at-home care, but also to go back every few months for a cleaning. And by showing empathy, they gained a new client because I felt that I could trust them and that I wasn't going to be judged. So when in doubt, put yourself in your client's shoes, and that'll help you come up with any solution that can maximize client happiness, but also it'll help you find a solution that will best fit your needs and your needs as a business owner. The third thing that you can do to up your communication is use clear language. I know that this seems like silly advice, but I want you to think of this. When was the last time you called your insurance adjuster? You may hear something like this. Yes, so your PIP coverage is dependent on the limits of your BI and PD liability coverage and can also be affected by your UM/UIM coverage and the type of deductible you choose. So it's important to understand how each of these factors interplay into your policy. You understood that, right? Okay. I don't know about you, but that was like Japanese to me. I have no idea what was just said. It kind of went in one ear and out the other because I didn't know what was going on. It's the same as a hairstylist saying to the average highlight client, okay, so I'm going to go in with some slices around the front. I'm going to do alternating teasy lights and baby lights throughout the rest before hitting the base with the 7N. And then after that, I'm going to go in and root tap up front and then color melt everywhere else and tone with the 9N 9GI. Okay, your average client isn't going to be able to follow that in their head and envision it at the same time. So by using simpler verbiage, it's going to help a lot. So with that, you could just say, I'm going to brighten up the blonde around your face and I'm going to go in everywhere else so that we have a nice lived-in blonde with a natural root. So much easier to understand. And also, when in doubt, ask for pictures. There's nothing better that can get you on the same page as just getting a visual of what your client wants. Clients don't know the lingo as well as they think they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking for the Jennifer Aniston Friends cut without layers or a copper color with no warmth. So simplify the terms, or better yet, ask for photos. And then when you see those photos, you can ask more clarifying questions like, what specifically is it that you like about this? Or is there anything in here that you don't like about that? Getting as much information to get you on the same page as your clients is going to pay off in a big way. And if you do that, you're going to have a happy client on your hands 99 times out of 100. The fourth step that I'm going to leave you with is be mindful of your body positioning. Did you know that your body actually gives off little cues that your words don't? So for example, if you're in a consult with someone, say you're standing up while they're sitting, your arms are crossed, and you're leaning back. If we break that down, by you standing above them looking down, it says either I am above you or I'm looking down on you. By you having your arms crossed, it means that you are closed off. And by leaning back, it actually shows that you're distancing yourself from your client. And that's kind of hard because this is an industry where we meet people and we're almost instantly in their personal space. So we want our bodies to give off cues that we want them to be here and that we're welcoming them. So instead, in your next consult, I want you to try something. Get down on the same level as your client. So either if they're standing, you stand, or if they're sitting, you sit, so that way you are on the same level and you can give them eye contact. The next thing would be to have your hands in a neutral position. Now you can go ahead and talk with your hands, have them to your side. If you're writing something, that's okay, but try not to have your arms crossed like this to where you're closing off your body to your client. The last thing that I'm going to say is while they talk to you, a way that you can show them that you are fully interested in what they have to say is lean forward just a little bit. An inch or two is all that it takes. You don't have to be in here like, what are you saying? But just a little lean. We don't have to overdo it. And that's going to show them that you are fully interested in them. I guarantee that if you can put these 4 steps into use, you will see results. Now, the cool thing about all of these steps is that they will help you in everyday life. But if you put them to use now in your business, I guarantee you're going to see a difference in the relationships that you build with both your coworkers and your clients alike. So to recap the 4 steps that we talked about today, we're going to work on being a good active listener, showing empathy, using simpler terminology, and being mindful of our body language. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. And as always, if you have a topic that you would like to hear, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this week's video, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're a stylist who's looking to elevate their business, I am available for one-on-one coaching. You can find out more information at www.thestylistconsultant.com/coaching. And if you have any comments or feedback, you can leave them down below, or you can get a hold of me on my website at www.thestylistconsultant.com/contact. I want to help set you on a path for dramatic improvement in your business. Let's do this together, one step at a time. I'll see you back here next week.